Day 2 of the Red River Farm Network Crop Tour presented by Pioneer, here coming to a close in the New Rockford area. I'm with Pioneer's Field Agronomist Kristie Sundeen, her coverage area northeast through north central North Dakota. Kristie, it's been a beautiful day here today. Got to tour a lot of great areas here, see some good crops here. Why don't you take us through the day and let's see some of the highlights here that you'd like to share.
So overall, we covered a pretty decent area, I would say. We went from Langdon to Rolla, now down here to Bremen, New Rockford area. And you can kind of see the difference in the geographies. Wheat harvest, we saw it along the way as we were driving. A lot of wheat left in that northeast area, up in Cavalier County, northern Towner County, Rowlett. There's a lot of wheat there. Come down here into the New Rockford area, a lot more wheat is already off. So things are progressing pretty good in this area. Same thing with corn. I mean, you could see the difference. I think we said in Langdon it was like 1,400 and some GDUs. We get to Bremen here and we're over 1,600. So you can definitely see where the heat is and the heat isn't. But we kind of know that. If guys are ever looking at corn, the first thing I tell them to do is go to Endon, pull the last 2-3 years of the GDU maps from a typical planting date to first frost and see what the GDUs were. And that'll get you started on probably where you should start with your maturities. But overall, it's been a good day.
Not perfect, though. We did see some areas that had some issues here. It's been a wet year here for the state, which is both good for the crops, but it does bring some problems. Talk to me a little bit about some of the pressures, disease pressures that we saw.
So, like Donnie talked about here in the New Rockford area, they've had pretty steady rain from the very beginning. Didn't really get any dryness in this geography. There's a little bit of white mold that's showing up in some soybeans. They had really, really hot temperatures. Everyone went through that in May where we were 90 some degrees, and then we dropped down to 40 degrees, and we had 10 days where we basically did not gain any GDUs before guys could really get back in the field again. But you go to some other pockets, take the Langdon area, for example, even up into New Rockford, Dunseith, a lot of that area did not see much for rainfall beyond that 2 week. So June was maybe an inch scattered through the whole month, was never any significant amount. And same thing with early July. So they didn't start picking up rains in those geographies till about mid-July. And then once mid-July hit, it started raining and it just never really stopped raining. So those geographies, we've got white mold showing up there also, both in the soybeans and in the canola. The canola, guys were just iffy. We were so dry in July. Do I really need to spray? I mean, it's costly. The guys are going to probably regret not spraying for white mold if they didn't. It's definitely showing up. And then the other thing we're seeing is we've got some verticillium starting to show up in the canola again. Later's planting. So anything that was like 25 of May through June planting, that's where we're starting to see the verticillium show up.
Seems like we got a pretty big crop here coming down the pipeline to look forward to. What's it going to take to get it to the finish line here for crops like corn and soybeans?
So I think soybeans, I'm not overly worried about soybeans. We get to the early to mid-September here. A lot of this, some of these plants in here, we've got a 00 maturity in this plot all the way up to an 09. Obviously, there's a difference there. The 007s are going to start dropping here pretty soon. We're on the tail end. Other end of the spectrum, you're probably early R5 on the other end of the spectrum. So the soybeans I'm not overtly concerned about. Corn, going across the territories, I'm really looking at corn plots right now, even wandering into some fields here and there. We need a solid month with some pretty significant steady GDU. So if we can get all the way through September, the corn's going to make it. But if we have any unexpected frost event that happens and it's significant, that might put a damper on things.
All right. Well, I'd just like to thank you for taking the time to share some of your expertise and knowledge with us and letting us follow you around here. It's been a great day, as mentioned before, and thanks again for doing this.
Nope, thank you. I appreciate you guys coming along. It's nice to show guys what's happening in the field and tell that story.
All right. Thanks again. It's day 2 of the Red River Farm Network Crop Tour coming to a close. Stay tuned for more tomorrow. We'll be on the road again. Just stay tuned and keep an ear out. Day 2 of the Red River Crop Tour, sponsored by Pioneer, coming to a close.